Hello students, in this lecture I am going to discuss with you a very important aspect of section number 11, that how to draft the application under section number 11 in a civil suit, and when this application has to be filed before the civil court. Now let us start the video. First of all, we have to check when the plea of res judicata may be raised. It is very important that plea of res judicata first of all must be raised before the court, either by making an application under section number 11 of CPC or by making the plea of res judicata in your pleadings. If you are not doing this, it means you are waiving your plea of res judicata, because it is a settled principle of law that plea of res judicata may be waived by the parties to the suit. Okay, so if any party to the case who can take the advantage of the plea of res judicata do not make any application under section number 11, or do not plead the plea of res judicata in his drafting, in his pleadings, then in that case it will be deemed that they have waived their right of plea of res judicata in the case, and court has not any power to take the plea of res judicata suo moto unless and until it has not been pleaded by the parties to the case in the case. Okay, this is not my wording, this is the wording of Chhattisgarh High Court. First of all, we have to study what is written in my notes. An application for dismissal of the suit under section number 11 of CPC must be made before the court at the proper stage of proceedings. And what can be called to be the proper stage of proceeding? Normally before framing the issues, or if the issues has already been framed before the starting of the evidence. The plea of res judicata may be waived by the party. If the party is not interested to take the plea of res judicata, then it can be waived by the party. So if the party to the suit not making the application under section number 11 of the CPC, or not taking the plea of res judicata in his pleading, then it is deemed that the party has waived the plea of res judicata. Okay. It is very important to note here that the court cannot suo moto decide the plea of res judicata. It is very important. I repeat, it is very important to note here that the court cannot suo moto decide the plea of res judicata unless it is raised in defense. It has been made by Chhattisgarh High Court in Kalavati Kotla versus Shokilal, AR 2013, Chhattisgarh, page number 12, that where the issue of res judicata was neither raised by the parties to the suit, nor any issue was framed by the trial court in relation to the res judicata. Okay, it was not raised by the parties to the suit, as well as trial court had also not framed any issue in respect of res judicata. But when the appellate court suo moto invoked and applied the principle of res judicata, then it was held by the Chhattisgarh High Court that it was not proper. And the court, which was the appellate court, was found to have no jurisdiction to answer the issue of res judicata if it was not raised by the parties. Okay, today in this video, I will discuss with you how to draft the application under section number 11 in the civil suit, and in the next video I will discuss with you how to draft the application under section number 11 in the execution, proceedings. Now let us start the application for dismissal in the civil suit. First of all, name of the court is to be mentioned. In this case, the name of the court is in the Court of Civil Justice Senior Division, Kapurthala. Thereafter, the name of the parties is to be given ABC versus XYZ. In this case, ABC is the plaintiff and respondent of this application, whereas XYZ is the defendant and applicant of this application. So, application has been given by XYZ through their counsel. Thereafter, subject matter is to be given. What is the application? What is the nature of this application? And nature of this application is application for the dismissal of the civil suit under section 11 of the CPC being barred by res judicata. Okay. Thereafter, you are going to represent your application to the presiding officer. First of all, there must be respect shown in your drafting. Okay. Now, respected sir, most respectfully stated as under, or you can say that most respectfully submitted as under. Number one, that the above noted civil suit is pending before this honorable court and is fixed for today. Okay. Now, in second paragraph, you are to narrate the brief story of the present case, why ABC filed the present suit against XYZ, that the above noted suit has been filed by the plaintiff oblique respondent for possession of the suit land, okay, by way of specific performance of contract of sale, which is alleged to have been executed between the plaintiff and the defendant. Okay. And number 3 states that the plaintiff has raised the dispute in relation to the present suit property on the basis of the same contract of sale, which matter was referred to the arbitration by the mutual consent of both the parties. It states that the plaintiff had previously raised the same dispute in relation to the same suit property on the basis of the same contract of sale, which matter was referred to the arbitration by the mutual consent of both the parties. And what was happened in the arbitration proceedings? In that arbitration proceedings, the arbitrator gave proper hearing to both the parties, recorded their statements, and also examined the witnesses produced by both the parties. Okay. Then what was happened in the arbitration proceeding? In para number 4, that finally the arbitrator void his arbitral award dated 7th of April 2019, held that there was no real agreement of sale. Okay. The arbitrator void his arbitral award, held that there was no agreement of sale. Okay. They negated the existence of agreement of sale and also held that no advance amount was paid by the plaintiff to the defendant as alleged in the said agreement of sale. Okay. As this application is based on the arbitral award, so you have to attach the certified copy of the arbitral award along with the application. So here I am writing that certified copy of the arbitral award is attached with the present application. Okay. That in view of the relevant provision of the Arbitration Conciliation Act 1996, the said award itself is a decree of the civil code within the meaning of section 36 of the act and is executable as such. Okay. First of all, before reading para number 5, I want to tell you that under the provisions of Arbitration Conciliation Act, if any type of arbitral award is passed by the arbitrator, then in that case it has the same validity as the validity of the decree of the civil code, and it will be executable in the same way as the decree of the civil code is executable under the provisions of CPC. And if any person is aggrieved by the arbitral award, then that party can make the objections under Section 34 of the Arbitration Act within 3 months. If the party is not making any type of application, then that arbitral award becomes final. Okay, now what is written by me in para number 5? That in view of the relevant provisions of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996, the said arbitral award itself is a decree of the civil court within the meaning of Section 36 of the Act and is executable as such. The plaintiff oblique respondent has also not filed any objections under Section 34 of the Act against the said arbitral award, and the said arbitral award has become final. Okay, now I have to apply section number 11 in this para. How I am applying this section number 11? Now it is clear that issue decided in the above noted arbitration proceeding is directly and substantially in issue in the present suit. Okay, the parties are same, ABC and XYZ were the parties in the arbitration proceeding. They are the parties in the civil suit as well. In the former arbitration proceedings, what was the issue? Whether there was any agreement of sale or not, whether any amount was paid by plaintiff to the defendant or not, that had already been decided. Cause of action was the same, and issue to be decided are also same, which have already been finally decided. So here I made an effort that all the conditions of section number 11 are to be written in this para, so that court will be very comfortable while deciding the application. That therefore the present suit is clearly barred under section number 11 of CPC and is not maintainable. So what is your prayer? My prayer is that the present suit may kindly be dismissed with heavy cost in the interest of justice and equity, or to pass any other further order which this honorable court may deem fit and proper in the interest of justice and equity. Here I will write the place where this application is written. Here the applicant oblique defendant will put his signature, and thereafter it will be written by which counsel this application has been given, through counsel Ashish Kumar Advocate, and thereafter verification will be made by the applicant defendant that the contents of my application are true and correct and has not been falsely stated therein. It will be verified at the place where the application is given and verified on the date when the application is to be given. So after this application you can attach an affidavit that the contents of my application are true and correct to the best of my knowledge. So this is something about the application under section number 11 of CPC. Thank you very much.